Hello, welcome to this edition of Momentum. I'm your host, Robert Green. I'm happy today to be joined in the studio by Dr. Anna Marie Clay. Dr. Clay is the Assistant Dean for Undergraduate Education here at the Bagley College of Engineering. She was last seen on this show actually several years ago when she was a graduate student, so I'll leave that to you to track down that episode. Dr. Clay, welcome. Happy to have you here.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Yeah. So you've been in the Dean's office for a year, a little over a year, almost 2 years now,
Yeah.
I guess, working with our students, helping them be successful. What specific groups of students have you been focused on?
So I work specifically with at-risk students. So students who are on probation, those typically who have an MSU GPA less than a 2.0, that categorizes them as a probationary student. And those students are required to meet with me several times a semester, at the beginning, mid-semester, and towards the end, right before final grades are posted, just to kind of get a game plan of how we're going to do this semester differently compared to their previous semesters that got them into the position they're in now. And so we have those conversations, go over our academic plans, what we're going to do differently. We're going to talk about going to classes and not skipping.
Okay. That's good.
A lot of my students who get in this predicament are in early morning classes who sleep through those classes and just tend to think that they don't need to show up. They can get it when they show up to do the test, and that is always not the case. And then we also host study hall sessions for these students. So they come once a week for an hour to get a good, quiet 1 hour session to just focus on whatever homework, coursework they got that week for their classes, projects to work on. A lot of these students typically can't find the time on their own when they're back at their home, or they have a bad roommate that doesn't, help with accommodating with a quiet time when they're back home getting ready for bed and taking time to study and whatnot. So those who do the study hall sessions, they have come back with a great feedback of thank you for providing this and making sure that we find this time. And then I also host tutoring sessions for those students.
So I know it's kind of early and with what you've been doing, but what kind of success are you seeing and results are you getting out of this?
So those who participate and do go through with the meetings and study hall sessions and tutoring sessions, they typically do come back from probation and get back on good standing. Now it might take another semester to get there, but they typically do come back on good standing. And typically those who do not participate in the requirements, they either go back to where they stay in that probationary period for a longer period of time or go into a suspension or dismissal period with the university.
So I know what you're doing is really over and above what some of the other things that are being done for these students at the university. Tell us a little bit about some of the other self-help or helpful offices we have on campus.
Yeah,
for the
absolutely. So this semester, actually, we've had some grant money come in for the university to have some behavioral health specialists for each college, and that has been a new and good resource for some students to go to talk to this grad student just to get some help in some areas about how to mentally be better prepared to take on college and the workload and the course load and whatnot. They also provide a tutoring session or tutoring center for just general courses such as physics, calculus 1 to 4, chemistry, biology. I offer more engineering-based entry-level courses on the tutoring help sessions, but the university as a whole, they do a great job of giving just a general freshman and sophomore option of courses that students can take. The counseling center is really great here at Mississippi State. A lot of the students that work with me while they're on probation have suggested that they appreciate me taking the time to talk to them about their troubles and issues, and some even go further in getting more help by going to the counseling center and talking to them there. So there's a lot of resources on campus. It's just a matter of finding the right one for you.
So it does sound like we have a lot to help students.
Yes, yes, we do.
when they get in these situations.
Yes.
what should students do to maybe not get in this situation? That might be the best solution, is never need to use any of these services.
Go to class,
Okay.
please. You're paying a lot of good hard-earned money to go to these classes. Taking the time to study for these classes, the recommended time to spend each hour from inside the coursework or the course outside of at home would be, is it 2 to 3 hours, I believe?
Yeah.
For every 1 hour you're in class, please spend 2 to 3 hours on your own to work on that subject. So a lot of discipline to sit down and study and work on that course load.
Yeah, I think that's the important thing, is a lot of our students have never really had to study too hard in high school.
Especially those who come from community colleges. They just think the workload is going to be easy, the same or just as easy as community college, and they get here and it's like, whoa, not the case. So definitely adjusting to the intensity level difference is something.
Yeah. So I know a lot of students come and there's more to college than just going to class, but maybe we get them to go to class, that's half the battle.
Yeah.
But other than go to class, what other things should you think students do to be successful and get the most out of college? Student organizations, those sorts of things.
So definitely getting involved in at least one departmental student organization, and not just being a member, but really considering being involved in a leadership position. That would look great, especially when you're going up for an interview for a co-op or internship, saying, hey, I have experience as the treasurer of the Ag and Bio Student Club. Being a part of an organization outside of your department is always fun too, whether that's, Harry Potter Quidditch Club or being a part of the drama club. It doesn't matter, as long as you're involved and not just showing that you're only here for academics and can do the academic work. You can also get involved in other avenues and do just as well. Is very important. I mentioned co-op and internships earlier. Those are extremely important avenues that students should consider taking probably around their junior level, late sophomore, junior level, and that's something we always encourage our students to get involved in.
So how should a student go about getting involved in some of these organizations, particularly the new students who are first arriving on campus? The
new students. So yes, your freshman year, you're going to come to orientation and you're going to see a lot of student organizations at tables when you come around to look around the union, and there you'll find a lot of them that are recruiting and want you guys to get involved, and that is something where you're going to say, okay, I'm going to look later at, let's say, 4 or 5 of these, and you'll go on their social media page or they have a page on Mississippi State's website that you can find about more information on there. And even in your department, they will have advertisement for you joining their club as well. And so that's a good way just to ask around your peers and older upperclassmen. They are always there to advocate and give you the best advice on what clubs that you should join as well.
So you mentioned orientation
yes.
a little bit ago, and I know that you handle the academic talks there, and that's a time that I think is exciting for students, but also maybe causes them a little nervousness when they show up. What should students do to prepare to come for orientation?
Okay, so it is very imperative that you make sure you get your AP scores in before you step foot on the college at orientation day. Also, transcripts are very important as well. Our advisors are always working ahead of schedule to make sure that you are in the right classes for the upcoming semester. And if you are not able to get us your AP scores and transcripts in before that, we're unsure of what classes you need to be in. And so we'll put together a schedule, but it might not be the best schedule, an up-to-date schedule. So to help everything run much more smoothly, if you can just get in contact with the with your academic advisor beforehand and make sure that they have all that information, it will go a lot smoother at orientation. You'll just see your schedule and say check, 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 and then you'll be on your way.
So you and Dr. Knox in the office also work on the Thrive in 5 program, which is helping students take some courses to get ready to go to graduate school.
Yes.
I know for incoming freshmen, graduate school is probably the last thing on their mind. But obviously you went to graduate school, so,
Yes.
so what advice do you have for those students thinking about graduate school, and how might Thrive in 5 play a role in that?
Never say never.
Okay, I said never once.
Yes. I was one of those that I was like, oh no, I'm not going to grad school. I'm going to go to med school. And then things changed and I actually did go to grad school. I wish I had a program called Thrive in 5 when I was going through school. So Thrive in 5 is a program that's much like an accelerated program for allowing students in undergraduate school to count towards their undergraduate curriculum and their master's curriculum at the same time.
Okay.
So they get course credit for both curriculums while in undergraduate school. So they can take up to 9 hours, so that's 3 3-hour classes. While they're about their junior level, they have to have a 3.5 MSU GPA, and that credit never expires. So they can go and get their bachelor's degree, go into work in an industry, and then come back and do their online master's program a little later, and that course credit is still there. Again, it never expires. It's a great opportunity for our students who are just thinking about grad school but aren't sure and don't want to pull the trigger. It's a great opportunity, and it's at no extra cost. It's the same cost as undergraduate courses that you've already got to take as an undergraduate.
Okay. So you mentioned medical school, so I suspect that
Yes.
played a role in why you chose biomedical engineering. But
Yes.
elaborate a little bit. Why did you choose biomedical engineering? And then after you decided not to go to med school, why did you decide to stay and go on and get your doctorate in biomedical engineering?
Okay, so my path to med school as a freshman was I'm going to go into biomedical engineering and I'm going to use it as a plan B in case med school doesn't work out. And then towards the end of my sophomore year, I heard of an opportunity called the SHORE program at UMMC, which is the summer undergraduate research experience where you can do undergraduate research with a faculty member at UMMC. I really enjoyed that time that summer, and I thought, okay, could look into this a little bit more. Didn't think much of it, and then towards my junior year, I started getting back on track of figuring out what I want to take for your MCAT and whatnot. And then that summer, I took a course with Dr. Koenig, fluid mechanics, and he wanted some undergraduate students to join his team for some research in the aerospace engineering department for a NASA helmet, development of a heads-up display. So I joined that team and really enjoyed that time. So then I thought to myself, you know what? I've had 2 summers working with undergraduate research. I've really enjoyed it. I think I could do this.
Okay.
So decided to look into the ag and bioengineering departments, faculty members, and see what they were doing at the time of their research. And I joined that faculty member there, and I just couldn't say no. And I've been with that department all the way for all my research. So
Well, great.
Yeah.
Sounds like good. So thanks for joining us today. Thanks for all you're doing to help our students be successful. And I want to thank you all for joining us, and I look forward to seeing you on the next edition of Momentum.